rise of the Xenomorphs is a tale woven through the darkest corners of the cosmos. A story of survival, terror, and the relentless expansion of a species designed for perfection. Their origins remain shrouded in mystery, their biology a nightmare of evolutionary efficiency, and their impact on the universe nothing short of catastrophic. To trace their history is to delve into a saga of fear, scientific curiosity, and the hubris of those who sought to control them. The earliest known encounters with the Xenomorphs date back to ancient times. Though records are fragmented and often dismissed as myth, some believe that the engineers, a race of towering, pale humanoids responsible for seeding life across the galaxy, were the first to experiment with the black goo, a mutagenic substance capable of rewriting DNA. This substance, when exposed to living organisms, could spawn abominations, and it is theorized that the Xenomorphs were either an intended creation or an accidental byproduct of the engineers' experiments. The derelict spacecraft discovered on LV-426, later known as Acheron, contained countless eggs, suggesting the engineers may have been transporting them as weapons before their demise. Whether the Xenomorphs turned on their creators or were unleashed intentionally remains unknown, but the wreckage stood as a grim warning for millennia. Humanity's first documented encounter with the species occurred in 2122 when the commercial starship Nostromo responded to a distress signal from LV-426. The crew, unaware of the horror awaiting them, investigated the derelict engineer vessel and stumbled upon the eggs. Kane's facehugger infection and the subsequent chestburster's emergence marked the beginning of humanity's long and bloody relationship with the Xenomorphs. The creature's rapid growth, acid blood, and biomechanical exoskeleton made it nearly unstoppable. By the time Ellen Ripley was the last survivor, the Xenomorph had fully matured, showcasing its lethal intelligence and adaptability. The destruction of the Nostromo was merely the first chapter in a saga of corporate greed and extraterrestrial terror. Weyland-Yutani Corporation's obsession with the Xenomorphs became a driving force in their spread. Despite Ripley's warnings, the company saw the creatures not as a threat but as the ultimate biological weapon. Their relentless pursuit of the species led to further outbreaks, including the disastrous colonization attempt on Hadley's Hope. By 2179, the colony on LV-426 had been overrun, its inhabitants serving as hosts for a new hive. Ripley's return, alongside the colonial marines, revealed the full extent of the Xenomorphs' reproductive efficiency. The Queen, a towering, egg-laying monstrosity, demonstrated a terrifying social hierarchy. The Marines' mission ended in slaughter, reinforcing the Xenomorphs' dominance as apex predators. The creature's ability to adapt became even more apparent in the following decades. On Fiorina 161, a penal colony became the site of another outbreak when a facehugger stowed away aboard the Sulico. The Xenomorph that emerged took on traits of its host, a dog, resulting in a quadrupedal runner, proving the species could alter its form based on the biology of its incubator. This adaptability made containment nearly impossible, as each new host could produce a deadlier variant. Weyland-Yutani was not the only organization to covet the Xenomorphs. Rival corporations and military factions sought to harness their power, leading to black site experiments and illegal cloning. The United Systems military's experiments on the spaceship Auriga resulted in a hybrid known as the Newborn, a grotesque fusion of human and xenomorph DNA. These attempts at control always ended the same way, in massacre. The Xenomorphs could not be tamed. They existed only to propagate, to kill, and to evolve. By the 24th century, xenomorph hives had been reported on multiple worlds, some natural, others the result of deliberate infestation. The creature's spread was facilitated by unsuspecting travelers, smugglers transporting eggs, and rogue factions using them as weapons. The Yautja, or predators, also played a role in their dissemination. The predators, who hunted xenomorphs as ritual prey, occasionally brought them to new hunting grounds, leading to outbreaks on planets like BG-386 and LV-223. These hunts sometimes went awry, leaving the xenomorphs to multiply unchecked. The rise of the xenomorphs was not just a story of their expansion but of the civilizations that fell because of them. Entire colonies vanished, ships drifted lifelessly in space, and governments collapsed under the weight of containment failures. The more humanity learned about the creatures, the more it became clear that they were not merely animals. They were a perfect organism, as some scientists called them. Their exoskeletons resisted most weaponry, their acid blood made close quarters combat suicidal, and their hive intelligence made them formidable even against superior numbers. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect of the xenomorphs was their capacity for evolution. On isolated worlds, they developed new strains, the Praetorian, a larger, more resilient caste; the Deacon, a proto-xenomorph born from engineer hosts; and the Neomorph, a pale, spindly variant created by the Black Goo. Each iteration was deadlier than the last, suggesting that the species was far from reaching its peak. By the 26th century, the xenomorphs had become a galactic plague. Some systems quarantined entire sectors, sacrificing planets to prevent further spread. Others turned to extreme measures, deploying nuclear strikes or orbital bombardments to cleanse infested worlds. But the xenomorphs endured. Underground hives survived bombardments, eggs lay dormant in wreckage for centuries, and facehuggers found new hosts in the most unexpected places. The rise of the xenomorphs was not just a history, it was an ongoing crisis. As long as life existed in the universe, so too would they, waiting in the darkness, perfecting their horrors, and ensuring that their reign of terror would never truly end.